Hello, in this video we're going to go over decision branching in Python. Decision branching is using statements as like if, else if, or else. So we'll get into how we do that. So the objective of our program will be to ask a user questions, and depending on their answers, give them a fact about an animal. So the first thing we'll do is ask what color the user prefers. We're just going to give them two options. So now, depending on what color they give us, we'll ask them different questions. So let's say if blue is chosen, then we'll do an if statement, and we'll say if color, and that's a variable we stored their answer in. We're going to use two equal signs here. That's a conditional if it's equal to, and we'll say, since inputs are strings, we'll say if it's equal to blue, and we close off the if statement with a colon, and anything that's indented underneath an if statement means it will only execute if the if statement is true. That's why formatting is pretty important in Python. Determines on if certain logic fires or not. So if it is blue, let's ask what animal they prefer. So animal equals input. Do you prefer birds or dogs? Alright, so we asked another question, and we're storing their answer in animal. So it looks like we need to have another if statement depending on what they answered. So let's do, if let's see if they chose birds. So if animal is equal to birds, gotta wrap it in quotes, has to be a string, or else it'll treat it like a variable. Then let's print a statement. So print a fact, so blue bird fact. We'll say blue birds live 6 to 10 years in the wild. Now, what if they didn't choose birds and they chose dogs? Or what if they didn't put either of those in? Well, that's where if you use what's called an else if, and you would code that as elif, elif, you would say, this is saying, alright, it means, alright, this condition isn't met. If that condition is not met, what if it meets this condition? We'll say, what if the animal is equal to dogs? if that's true, we'll print a blue healer fact. Print blue healers, also known as Australian cattle dogs, are high energy and love having a job to do. Right. So if they didn't put birds or dogs in, we'll say, well, if it doesn't meet either of these conditions, we'll use an else statement. So if it doesn't meet those, then else do this. And we'll say, let's put a comment explaining that. I missed a comment here too. So if dogs, if neither birds or dogs are chosen, then print, we'll just say that put invalid, invalid option was chosen. Alright, so that's if they choose blue. But we still need to do, well, what if they chose green? So similar to what we did with the animals, we'll use an elif statement. So if green is chosen, do an elif. So else if color equals green, then let's ask what animal they prefer. We're going to ask a different question, different animal question. We'll ask stored an animal equals input. Do you prefer snakes or turtles? Now notice we're using animal here as well as we used it in the other if statement. So since we know that it will you can only choose blue or green, you can't choose both, we can use animal here because we know that we're not overriding what we're setting here, as well as there's a scope issue, I believe, as well. So if you were to do that, so we'll do animal. So what if they chose snake? Well, so if animal is equal to snakes, code, say print smooth green snake fact. Let's say smooth, not smooth, smooth green snakes, also known as grass snakes, are non-venomous and can grow up to 20 inches in length. Alright. But if they didn't choose snakes, so else if animal is equal to turtles, do print green turtle facts. So let's see here. Print green turtles are a type of sea turtle and are the only type of sea turtles that is an herbivore. Alright. Well, what if they didn't choose snakes or turtles? Well, we need to do an else statement. And I forgot my comment again. So, if turtle, and if neither snakes or turtles say, print invalid option is true. It's always nice to give feedback to users when they don't give correct input. That's why you always want to check for that, especially since now that you know how to use if statements and if else statements. This allows you to check for that and give feedback to the user. Alright, so what if, so now that we did blue and green conditions, what if they didn't choose blue or green? Well, so if neither blue or green are chosen, we'll say print invalid option was chosen, enforcing that giving feedback to the user. Alright, so let's run this and see if it works. So alright, which color do I prefer? Well, I prefer blue. Do you prefer birds or dogs? This time I prefer dogs. Oh, cool, I got a fact about blue healers. Let's run it again. This time I like green. Do I prefer snakes or turtles? Snakes. Oh, didn't know. Smooth green snakes could be 20 inches in length. To run it again, we could say, well, I'm feeling blue. And this time I want to fly, so like birds. Ah, bluebirds live 6 to 10 years in the wild. We can do it again. Say, oh, this time things are looking green. Say, oh, do you prefer snakes or turtles? Well, this time turtles. Ah, green turtles are sea turtle. Didn't know that. Well, we've done everything correct, but what if we enter something wrong? So what if I say red? invalid option. Oh, you should probably read the instructions. Okay. Green's an option. Do you prefer turtles or snakes? I prefer lizards. Oh, invalid option. Oh, not an option, okay. So this gives feedback to the user, allows them to know what they possibly have done wrong. And you can elaborate your feedback to the user too. Instead of saying just an invalid option was chosen, you can always reiterate what the options are, and they can try again, or you just allow them to run the program again. So this was a video on using if statements in Python, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.